As far as infrastructure goes, we currently have an I-57 interchange going in at 6,000 Road that's already been in the planning for a while. And we also had some work that did not get completed in Meadowbrook subdivision for road surfacing. Our village had a big chunk of money and gave it to Brady Homes. And with the understanding that they would finish the job, and they didn't, they went bankrupt on us. So now the residents gotta pay that money out of their tax dollars, so we're not happy about that. The part that made me nervous about this question, you're gonna be shocked by my answer. I don't have a big infrastructure plan, and I'll tell you why. I think that Bourbonnais, like Bradley, is a little bit older of an area, most parts of it, and I think we need to spend that money on fixing up our current roads and infrastructure that we already have. I don't want reckless spending like is going on in our federal government and our state government. I just don't want taxes being raised on residents, so let's just spend that money what we have, and if we have extra money, then I'm all for new infrastructure being done, because we do want to grow and get newer and better. But let's just take care of our current stuff now. Thank you.
This is kind of an interesting question, because the village of Bourbonnais just announced some infrastructure things that they are doing now that should have been done a long time ago. Career Center Road, they're doing a resurfacing project on Career Center Road that actually Career Center is a busy enough north-south street that actually should be widened and have some safety measures added. They're doing Meadowbrook subdivision, which should have been done a long time ago. Of course, we're supposed to be getting the 6,000 interchange. When that comes through, that is going to be a huge boost to our community with the opportunity to add commercial and industrial facilities to the local area.
Since I am not on the inside of local government yet, I decided to call head of Public Works today about infrastructure. We do have a new sewer going in between Layer Pond and Armor Road. That has been a project that, according to Public Works Director Mike Chendis, it's been in the works for 4 years. Mr. Keys is right. 102 to 6,000 is going to be resurfaced. It's long overneeded. It's like the Mantino Autobahn. Meadowbrook is being worked on. I also, being a candidate, I looked at Mantino 5 out there is a little subdivision that's poked just north of 6,000. That's the first place I went and talked. They're in the same situation. I asked about that. That's something that is in the planning stage. I just think that we need to look at things closer through a microscope, but also through a telescope, long-range plan, to look at so we're ready for the next growth that's coming.
Question for Bourbonnais candidate number 2. What type of business should your village seek out in order to increase job opportunities, and how should the village achieve such goal?
Basically, the village has a lot of minimum wage and close to minimum wage type jobs in our community. Basically, we need to bring well-paying jobs. Riverside Hospital's done a very good job in our community. We need some technology type businesses. With the 6,000 interchange, it'll be nice to add some industrial, well-paying jobs. Basically, we need to bring Bourbonnais to a place to be a destination for your business, a place that you want to bring your new company to. We need to hold on to what we have and make the village a better place and a commercial and industrial destination. And right now, we're a bed and breakfast community.
I'd like to encourage people to shop local, to support our businesses that we already have in our village, and to encourage businesses, old and new, to utilize our current accommodations that we already have available in our villages, or in our village.
Okay, again, I'm coming back to looking at things through a telescope, but looked at a microscope, and our industrial real estate base is like, we only have room for about 2% more. In our office space, in our whole area, the market area, we're at a 97% fill rate already. I think the telescope needs to be looking further down the road so that we are prepared. We don't have the structure there for more businesses to come. We have a reason to come. We're ranked ninth nationally in the cost of doing business and second in job growth in Illinois, based on a Forbes study back in 2014. I think we need to look at that telescope and make sure we're ready. And right now we're not.
All of us being new people running to be a trustee, we don't have some of the inside information, but we're just gonna go by what we vision, as Randy said, what we could foresee possibly happening. I mentioned earlier that and some of the other people up here mentioned, we wanna try to take care of our own, the businesses that are already vacant, we wanna fill, we wanna work on the infrastructure we already have in our hands already. Now, as far as businesses coming in, I can picture in my head that we could have possible warehouses with that I-57 interchange, and those warehousing jobs aren't super high paying, but it's better than what we have in our town right now. I could also picture medical buildings of some sort, which would also be good paying jobs, and maybe even something like a car dealership or something like that, that would also provide good paying jobs. Thank you.
Technology can greatly improve municipal transparency and public safety. How efficient do you think your village is when it comes to your current technology capabilities? Is there anything that can be done to improve transparency?
Need to make meeting minutes more easily accessible. People need to have more information in the newspaper. Some people don't have access to computers, to some computers, and need to have the information in the newspaper. And the newspapers are the only information that some people get. And that we would have all meeting agendas posted and full reports and complete proposals for you to see before the board votes on any of them, the ordinances and so forth.
If you have not looked at the Village of Bourbonnais website, I can tell you that it is not user-friendly. Oh, did they start using? It is not user-friendly. When I decided to put up a website for my candidacy, kingfortrustee.com, I wanted to make sure, first and foremost, that it was easy. Wanted to find the solicitation ordinance so that I didn't break any law. I could not find it. I called the village. It took 4 people to give me that answer. It should be available online. Thank you.
You're gonna hear a lot of repetitive stuff. I'll try not to spend much time on it. Both Donna and Randy had said that not all people have a computer, and I know people that do not, so that is true. And they don't have access to a lot of information, so they feel like they're out of the loop. Also, it was mentioned that our system is not real user-friendly. I, like the rest of these guys, I've gone online and I had a real hard time finding information that I was trying to get the answers to, so I got frustrated with it. There is a lot of information there, and I'm sure it's there, but there's just so much, it's ridiculous. I think we could do a better job of making things clear so everyone can understand it. I think also, I guess just that the residents want to be informed and feel like they're being heard. And we got to find a way to communicate with them better. Thank you.
The current administration, most meetings are done within 15 minutes. Everything, all resolutions and ordinances are read by title only, with little or no discussion. They don't provide access before a meeting to have that information, to make sure that what is being discussed and what they're actually doing is completely transparent and open. From a technology standpoint, of course, the village has a Facebook page that they don't utilize well. They have a website that's not easy to access. Having that information easy to access and putting all of the information on the website makes us all more informed, and that's important. Then we actually have the opportunity to decide on what we want for our village.
Question for candidate 4. Do you feel that it is necessary to create a mandatory policy to actively recruit minorities or compliance to an existing policy apply?
Mandatory policy? Quite frankly, I'm not sure what the policy is right now. To actively recruit minorities, absolutely. Of the 19,000 people in the village, I do not know the number that is minority, but they need to be included in everything that we do. We need to reach out to them and ask them how they might best be involved and engaged in their village, and be open for discussion on how that might direct policy so that we can include them as part of the total village.
This is one of the few times I think this group up here is gonna have a little bit of a disagreement. I do wanna see minorities get the training and education and to get good paying jobs so they can support their families. But I am not so much for making anything like that mandatory, because I don't think that you're getting, I mean, it could be an example where the minorities are actually the ones that are best, and the white colored people aren't the ones that get the jobs. I don't think just because you're colored, we should make something mandatory with anybody. Try to get people trained, regardless of their race. Try to pick the best people for the job. I got one little quick tidbit of information. I called KCC today. They said their enrollment is down 10% with white people, 17% with blacks, and the one that's went up is 7% Hispanics attending college. So someone's doing some good work there. Let's get people trained, educated, and hire the right people.
My understanding is, all government agencies have compliance, issues from a minority standpoint. What we need to do is make sure that we're doing the right things, and reaching out to the NAACP and to HOP and, the Daily Journal and the City News, and we have local colleges, KCC and Olivet, and Governor State University that's not that far away, to make sure that we get the best and brightest to be employed by our village. That's what we have to look for, and that's what we have to work for, to make sure that we're having the absolute best person for any job in the village.
I said, mandatory, I don't know, but hiring the right trained people, yes, absolutely.
As members of the regional business community, we have to take an active role in making sure our business climate remains productive. Having the right leadership in place is the first step in ensuring that we have a positive business climate. Elections are right around the corner. Don't let someone else make your decisions. Go vote. Even if you believe your candidate has plenty of support, it's important that you cast your ballot. Far too often, we see a good candidate lose by a very slim margin. If you don't vote, you're putting all the businesses throughout the region at risk. We need strong leaders. If you don't vote, you could be letting a good candidate who could make positive changes for our region slip away. Go vote. Forward this message to all of your employees and contacts. Let us have a great voter turnout this election, and let's make a difference for everyone.